ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Hello students, now let us continue with the last part of respiration. Now in last part of respiration, let us study about respiratory quotient. Respiration quotient, or we can study about respiratory quotient. We can study about respiratory quotient. So we studied about anaerobic respiration as well as aerobic respiration. Now let us try to understand what is meant by respiratory quotient. Respiratory quotient, it's nothing but it can be calculated RQ. Generally we say RQ value, meaning respiratory quotient value. RQ is equal to the volume of carbon dioxide consumed by the volume of oxygen evolved or produced. So this is nothing but the thing which we have to remember for respiratory coefficient. Quotient we call, or coefficient we call, right? So how do we define this? RQ value can be referred as the ratio between amount of carbon dioxide consumed during respiration to amount of oxygen released. So what is respiratory quotient? We can say RQ value can be defined in terms of the ratio between how much amount of carbon dioxide is consumed at the time of cellular respiration. So we say during respiration. So this may happen in terms of higher organisms, or it may happen in terms of lower organisms. It may be cellular respiration, or it may be anaerobic respiration, or it may be aerobic respiration, or it may be, you can take simply fermentation, whatever it may be. In that how much carbon dioxide is consumed, and using that in the oxidation of food materials, when energy is releasing out, how much amount of oxygen is released out. So amount of carbon dioxide consumed to the volume of oxygen evolved itself is considered as a respiratory quotient, because respiration happens with what? Inhale and exhale, breathing. What is respiration? Generally we say breathing. That means we are taking oxygen and we are releasing out what? Carbon dioxide. That is in case of animals. We are talking in terms of plants. In terms of plants, what they are doing? They are taking carbon dioxide is consumed, and by the end they produce with what? Oxygen. So in case of plants, respiration meaning exchange of gases takes place through stomata. In stomata, which gas is absorbed inside? Carbon dioxide. Which gas is released out? That is nothing but oxygen. Where? In case of green plants. Right. So here exchange of gases, what occurs at the time of respiration in terms of plants, we take amount of carbon dioxide is consumed. From that we are taking the ratio, how much volume of oxygen is released out, how much volume of oxygen is evolved out. That itself we call it as a respiration quotient value, that we always taken this as the ratio between volume of carbon dioxide to volume of oxygen. Right. Now when you take the respiration quotient, now respiration quotient value, let us apply, let the value varies with respiratory substrates. It always varies with a different respiratory substrates. So different respiratory substrates, they possess different RQ value. So RQ value always varies with a respiratory substrates. Now what are respiratory substrates? So far we studied, you know, respiratory substrate means what all we studied just now. Most of the times respiratory substrates are nothing but carbohydrates, sometimes fatty acids, sometimes proteins. Right, mostly these act as respiratory substrates. Now let us see the RQ values. Now RQ value for most commonly used respiratory substrates are nothing but what? Carbohydrates. So let us see RQ value for carbohydrates. So when you take RQ value for carbohydrates, generally what is the thing we say generally? 6 carbon dioxide, right, plus 12 H2O, you know it very well, what it will do, sunlight, right, and chlorophyll, produced with what, C6H12O6 plus 6 oxygen and 6 water molecules. So when carbohydrates are prepared using carbon dioxide, how much oxygen is evolved, how much carbon dioxide is consumed. Now for carbohydrates, if you take RQ value, 6 carbon dioxide by 6 oxygen, that means is equal to 1. That means RQ value for carbohydrates is always 1, or we say unity, that is 1. Got it? So RQ value for carbohydrates, if you want to calculate, 6 carbon dioxide molecules are consumed, 12 H2O, sunlight, chlorophyll, of course glucose is produced, carbohydrates are prepared, 6 molecules of oxygen and 6 H2O. So RQ value is amount of carbon dioxide consumed is 6 carbon dioxide by amount of oxygen evolved is 6 molecules, 6 O2. So 6 by 6 is nothing but RQ value becomes 1 for carbohydrates. Very important, try to remember. Right. Similarly, if you take RQ value for proteins and fats. If you look at RQ value for proteins and fats, if you take for proteins approximately you will get 0.5, for fats approximately we get 0.7. That means for both fatty acids and proteins, let us take here fats we can take and also we can take proteins. So here for fatty acids, for proteins, it is RQ value is less than 1. It is always less than 1. RQ value is less than 1. I repeat again, RQ value for proteins, if you take approximately, most of the times it is less than 1. For some proteins it is approximately 0.5 we get. RQ value for proteins mostly we get commonly 0.7 approximately for most of the compounds, or it may vary up to 0.9 also, right. So if you take for proteins and fats, for both RQ value will be always less than 1. Very important. So let us keep proteins aside. Let us take some examples of fatty acids. Let us continue further. So let us continue further. What is a very important thing? RQ value for proteins it is 0.5, RQ value for fats it is 0.7. That means RQ values for both proteins and fats it is less than 1. Proteins, let us keep it aside. Let us take the fatty acids, because mostly we take junk food and outside food, oily food, fried food, mostly it contains what? Fatty acids. Now let us take RQ value for fats. RQ value for fats. Now let us take some examples. Let us take some examples like tripalmitin, where two molecules of C51, H98, O6. Right? Now this is called tripalmitin. This is called as tripalmitin, a fatty acid called a tripalmitic acid. So we are taking one of the fatty acid as an example, that is a tripalmitic acid, that is tripalmitin. It's a type of fatty acid. Sometimes even you will get tripalmitic acid, both one another same. Tripalmitic acid, one another same. Now this get combined with 145 molecules of carbon dioxide. Then as a result of this, it produced with it produced with 102 molecules of oxygen, plus along with that here it produced with 98 molecules of water. So amount of carbon dioxide consumed is 145 molecules of carbon dioxide. Amount of oxygen evolved is 102 molecules of oxygen. Then what is the RQ value for tripalmitin? RQ value is equal to 145 by 102. So approximately you will get it as something like approximately 0.7 or 0.9 approximately. Okay. Similarly, if you take approximately, we can get it approximately 0.7, approximately I am writing. Okay. Now let us take another example. RQ value for fats is, this is palmitin is one of the fatty acid. Let us take one more example. 2C57 H102 O8. Let us take this. Now in this 80 molecules of carbon dioxide produces 57 molecules of oxygen and 102 molecules of water. Okay, so here this is 96 or 102, let it be. Okay, so if you take this, this is nothing but, this is a fatty acid called triolin. This is another example, another fatty acids. So tripalmitic acid and triolin both are nothing but what? They are fatty acids. Both are nothing but what? Tripalmitic acid and triolin both are nothing but fatty acids. Now triolin, if you look at, so what is the RQ value for this? This is nothing but 80 by 57, because 80 is a carbon dioxide, 57 is oxygen. Same thing here, approximately you will get as 0.9. So in both cases, how much ever the value you get, you write down the value whatever you get it, and how much ever value you get it, write down here. But if you see, final conclusion is the RQ value for fats, it is always, it is less than 1. It is always less than 1. It may be approximately 0.7 or it may be 0.9, but not more than 1. So it is, try to remember the statement, RQ value of fatty acids is always less than 1. Right guys, so try to remember, this is very important. RQ value for proteins, if you take, even this statement is important, where it is also less than 1, approximately 0.5, or for some proteins we get 0.7, 0.8 like that, but less than 1 only. Similarly, RQ value for fats is also approximately average for most of the fatty acids, if you take 0.7, most of the proteins it is 0.5. If you look at RQ value for both fatty acids and proteins, it is always less than 1. Proteins are dietary fibers, they easily get broken down. Let us take examples for the fatty acids. Mostly the food what we take generally it contain fatty acids. Let us see the RQ values for fats. Right. So let us take the examples. One of the fatty acid is tripalmitin. It is also called tripalmitic acid. Two molecules of C51H98O6 it's called palmitin, combines with 145 molecules of carbon dioxide, gives rise to 102 molecules of oxygen plus 98 water. So, if you take tripalmitic acid RQ value 145 by 102 approximately 0.7. Similarly, another fatty acid example triolin if you take, it is also complex molecule. So, you can see odd numbers here. That is why we are taking 2 molecules. 2 molecules of C57H1O2O8 plus it requires 80 molecules of carbon dioxide, gives rise to 57 molecules of oxygen plus 102 molecules of water. As a result, RQ value if you calculate for triolin, 80 carbon dioxide by 57 oxygen approximately 0.9. So, in both cases tripalmitin, triolin both are fatty acids. So, for fatty acids RQ value will be always less than 1, very important. Now, let us talk about other plants, other type of plants if you take. Let us continue for the RQ value for succulents. RQ value for succulents. What are the succulents? We all know very well. The succulents are nothing but xerophytes, like you can take Opuntia, cactus, bryophyllum, right. So, generally even ones which exhibits CAM pathway, mostly succulents exhibit what? CAM pathway. So, xerophytes, Opuntia, cactus, these all are nothing but succulents. Generally for succulents, RQ value for succulents will be equivalent to 0. Mostly it is 0. Generally it will be taken it as a 0. Why RQ value for succulents it will be 0? Because you know it very well. These plants, they undergo what is called as CAM pathway. What they undergo is CAM pathway and they contain scotoactive stomata. What do they contain? Scotoactive stomata. And you remember we discussed about scotoactive stomata in CAM pathway where stomata opens during night. So, during night what occurs here? It is called deacidification. Right, and stomata gets closed. Stomata get closed during daytime. As a result, what occurs is called as acidification. So, because of acidification, because of scotoactive stomata, because of CAM pathway, when you take the RQ value is nothing but carbon dioxide consumption by oxygen and that becomes 0. Right? Why? Because they are nothing but succulents. Xerophytes, Opuntia, cactus, Euphorbia, all this will come. Remember always it is very important. RQ value for succulents it is 0. So, here xerophytes, Opuntia, cactus, they undergo CAM pathway because they contain scotoactive stomata. How scotoactive stomata function at the time of CAM pathway here? You can take stomata opens during night time. We discussed this pathway in CAM pathway, right, where what occurs is deacidification and stomata get closed during daytime. What occurs is nothing but acidification. Amount of carbon dioxide is not released here. Here partial degradation of organic acids. What happens here? There is a partial degradation because of partial degradation, there is accumulation of organic acids. You know it very well. Accumulation of organic acids. And there is no release of carbon dioxide. Now, because of these organic acids, for these organic acids also we find different RQ values, as there is no release of carbon dioxide during night time. It continue in the daytime. During daytime, complete breakdown of organic matter takes place. Carbon dioxide is released. Amount of carbon dioxide what is released here, that is sufficient to synthesize the sugars. Then no more carbon dioxide is left out, and here that is the reason why it becomes the 0. So, in different plants there is a release of different organic acids. So, let us continue discussion with organic acids. Generally, what organic acids are produced? Maybe the organic acids may be succinic acid, or maybe malic acid, tartaric acid, oxalic acid. There may be different type of organic acids may be released in different plants at different metabolic processes. So, let us continue discussion. So, let us talk about RQ value for organic acids. For organic acids. Right. Now, when you take the RQ value for example, if you take malic acid, for malic acid, RQ value is taken for carbon dioxide and oxygen. Approximately you will get it as 1.3. Okay, approximately we will get it as what? 1.3. 1.3 is nothing but RQ value. That means RQ value for organic acids, it is more than 1. It will be always more than 1. That means more than unity. Remember, RQ value for succulents is also very important. RQ value for succulents is 0. RQ value for carbohydrates is 1. RQ value for fats and proteins is less than 1. RQ value for organic acids is always more than 1. For example, most commonly released organic acids if you take, that is malic acid. Similarly, you can also take succinic acid. Succinic acid. For succinic acid, RQ value will be carbon dioxide by oxygen, approximately it is 1.6. So, for succinic acid, the RQ value will be 1.6. Remember, for malic acid, the RQ value will be approximately 1.3. Now, apart from this, even if you can take tartaric acid, of course, there are many organic acids. Now, let us talk about tartaric acid. For tartaric acid, RQ value will be taken it as carbon dioxide by oxygen. It will be taken it as 4. That is highest value, right? So, tartaric acid, of course, what not we have succinic acid, malic acid, fumaric acid, alpha ketoglutaric acid, and we have what is called isocitric acid, cis-aconitic acid. These all are nothing but organic acids. They produced as an intermediates at the time of Krebs cycle, right. So, these all organic acids which are produced at the time of Krebs cycle, generally they will have RQ value more than 1, because consumption of carbon dioxide, release of carbon dioxide is more, and there is more consumption of oxygen. So, here, so when you take the value, more consumption of, more utilization of carbohydrates here. So, more and less is the oxygen. So, we get RQ value will be more than 1. So, try to remember, very important. For malic acid, RQ value is 1.3, very important, remember. For succinic acid, RQ value will be 1.6 approximately. For tartaric acid, RQ value will be approximately 4. And for RQ value for succulents, if you take, most commonly xerophytes, opuntia cactus, bryophyllum, kalanchoe, cam plants, sedum, orchids, pineapple. So, they all members belong to which family? They belong to the family called Cactaceae. And right, pineapple, kalanchoe, sedum, right, Bromeliaceae. So they are all called as what? Not only this, even if you take CAM plants also, CAM plants or xerophytes, whenever they give, RQ value will be generally 0 because of deacidification, acidifications, Kodak to stomata, CAM pathway, and there is an accumulation of organic acids, no release of carbon dioxide. That's why it will become what? 0. Alright, now let us continue further. RQ value for, so let us take RQ value for fermentation. Generally at the time of fermentation, you know fermentation occurs at the time of aerobic respiration and at the time of anaerobic respiration. So in anaerobic respiration what happens? Fermentation, it's a type of what? Anaerobic respiration. In anaerobic respiration what occurs? Glycolysis takes place, but at the end of after glycolysis what occurs is called fermentation. At the time of fermentation maybe there is a production of alcohol, right? So what is produced here? Maybe there is a formation of acetaldehyde or ethyl alcohol. So there is a formation of acetaldehyde, right, and that gives rise to ethyl alcohol or any type of alcohol along with the release of what? Carbon dioxide. Right. Now coming to this, either you find alcohol fermentation or you can see that there is a lactic acid fermentation. So there is maybe formation of lactic acid, that is called lactic acid fermentation. Generally what happens here? Here fermentation, either you can take lactic acid fermentation or you can take cellulose fermentation. Whatever is a substrate here undergoing the process called fermentation, here the microorganisms like yeast mainly responsible for converting the substrates into products along with that alcohol or maybe lactic acid or maybe cellulose may keep undergoing the breaking down process. Very less amount of energy is released, and that too it happens in lower organisms like yeast, bacteria and all that. Fermentation mostly occurs in microorganisms. That is the reason why generally we say that RQ value for fermentation when you take, it's equivalent to infinity. Generally the value will be taken it as infinity. RQ is equal to infinity. Okay, so RQ for value for fermentation will be always infinity. Why? Because there is incomplete breakdown of or incomplete oxidation of. The main reason for this is the incomplete oxidation of carbohydrates. There will be incomplete oxidation of what? Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates get broken down as because of incomplete oxidation, RQ value may not be complete production of oxygen. That is the reason why we take RQ value for fermentation. It is always infinity, right? So why? What is the reason? Means at the time of fermentation, you know, the carbohydrates like glucose get broken down and produces what is called as pyruvic acid. Pyruvic acid, what is produced here? It enters into fermentation. So in fermentation, based as the compounds which are produced are not completely broken down to release. So it's called incomplete oxidation. It may be carbohydrate, protein or fat. Because of that, RQ value for fermentation will be taken it as infinity. So this is what is very, very important. Now let us continue further here. You can take what is called as respiratory climacterics. What we can take here is respiratory climacteric. What is respiratory climacterics? Respiratory climacterics is nothing but, so here it shows that highest rate of the process of highest respiration achieved or occurs during ripening of fruit. During a ripening of fruit. So there is a highest rate of respiration occurs during ripening of fruit. Especially which fruit mainly we talk about here? Mainly we talk about what is called as apple. So mainly we talk about apple. So highest rate of respiration occurs during ripening of apple. So apple shows high respiratory climacteric. Apple shows high respiratory climacteric. Very, very important. Right? So generally if you look at what is respiratory climacterics, you know the respiratory climacterics is nothing but the process of highest rate of respiration occurs during ripening of the fruit. Which fruit shows highest respiratory climacteric? Apple at the time of ripening. So here it shows highest rate of respiratory climacteric. That is the reason why whenever apple is cutted, so generally what happens, apples when we keep in the refrigerators, they will be very, very freshy, very fresh they will become, right. Apples when we keep in the refrigerator, they will be very, very fresh. But the moment when you take the apple out, if you cut the apple, if you place it on the table, in the next 10 minutes, next half an hour, if you don't eat and if you expose apple to the air, it immediately becomes brown or what you call yellowish color. What is the reason? Apple reacts with oxygen. Apple undergo oxidation with the air. So when apple reacts with oxygen, it shows high respiratory climacteric, it shows high rate of respiration. So immediately it will get ripened and it becomes brown in color. So it shows faster rate of ripening because it absorbs maximum oxygen. It reacts with oxygen. The reason is it shows high respiratory climacteric, it shows high rate of respiration at the time of ripening. That is the reason why generally if you see the apples which are on outside, on cartwheels and in the market, if you see today they will be fresh. Same apples tomorrow if you see, after 1 week if you see also they will be remain fresh. What is the reason? You know we studied in transport in plants. Apples are coated with what? Surface coatings. What are they? You know PMC, phenyl mercuric acetate, or emulsions. Some of the resins, a white colored coated chemical will prevent apple not to undergo what is called transpiration. So that is the reason why apple is prevented with what is called anti-transpirant. Apple remain kept in outside by coating with, apple is coated with a surface coatings. Apple is protected from ripening by surface coatings like anti-transparents, PMC, phenyl. At the time of transport in plants, we discussed PMC, phenyl mercuric acetate. Sometimes carbon dioxide will also act, resins and colorless resins and some of the surface coating chemicals, white transparent coatings, they will prevent transpiration. There is no loss of water, thereby apple remain fresh for a longer duration of time. So the fruit which shows highest rate of respiratory climacterics at the time of ripening, you try to remember that is nothing but what? Apple. So respiration is also governing with so many factors. So many factors favors the respiration to happen, mostly the external factors as well as the internal factors. So let us continue further. So here if you take some factors which governs the two important major processes like photosynthesis and respiration. Among them, even oxygen also acts as one of the factor governing the two processes like photosynthesis as well as respiration. So if you take Oxygen, the impact of oxygen, the impact of oxygen. Generally, if you take photosynthesis, you know, we have to remember. One is called Warburg effect and other one is called as Patcher effect. Patcher effect. Right? Generally, if you take Warburg effect is what? Increase in oxygen decreases rate of photosynthesis. PS, meaning what? It decreases rate of photosynthesis. There is a decrease of photosynthesis. That itself is called as Otto Warburg is a scientist who discovered, it is called Warburg effect. Right? Increase in oxygen in the surrounding environment, it decreases the rate of photosynthesis. Generally, oxygen is considered as the least factor which influences photosynthesis. But what happens mostly when oxygen concentration is going beyond limit, oxygen is increasing up to certain limit, it will not affect photosynthesis. But when it is going beyond limit, increase in oxygen decreases rate of photosynthesis. It's called as what? It's called as Warburg effect. So Warburg effect is related to what? Warburg effect is related to photosynthesis. That is effect of oxygen on photosynthesis itself is called Warburg effect. Similarly, coming to Patcher effect. Now, what is Louis Pasteur studied? Fermentation and also studied effect of oxygen. So, here we say increase in oxygen in the surrounding environment increases rate of respiration up to certain limit, but beyond limit there decreases rate of respiration. It decreases what? Rate of respiration. Increase in oxygen, what happens here? It decreases respiration. Decreases of respiration. That means when oxygen is keep increasing here, oxygen is increasing, respiration also increases. Respiration also increases. How long? Up to certain limit. But beyond that, when oxygen is increased, when oxygen concentration is more, then respiration decreases. See the opposite effect. Right? That means here Louis Pasteur identified the effect of oxygen on the process called as respiration. That means how oxygen has an impact of effect of oxygen on respiration itself is called as Pasteur effect. Very, very important. Try to remember the comparison. Whenever in the final NEET if they talk about Warburg effect, remember the question is about photosynthesis. Increase in oxygen decreases rate of photosynthesis. That is effect of oxygen on photosynthesis observed in lower organisms like green algae as well as in higher plants. Right? What is Pasteur effect? Increase in oxygen, rate of respiration also increases up to certain limit. But beyond, if oxygen concentration is more, instead of increasing, respiration decreases. That is, increase in oxygen causes decrease in rate of respiration. That is nothing but effect of oxygen on respiration studied by Louis Pasteur. That's why it's called as Pasteur effect. Remember two things very clearly. Warburg effect is related to photosynthesis. Pasteur effect is always refers to respiration.